Hi everyone, this is the Sakmo English Club channel, and warmly welcome to the podcast series accompanying you to share the perspective in life. I'm Ling. Coming to the topic success boosting motivation today, we will talk about Henry Ford's tenacious efforts when he failed many times but never gave up. Ford Motor is a popular brand in the US automobile market, as well as in the world. Few people know the stories about the founder Henry Ford's determination and rise from failure behind the success of one of the largest car companies in the world. Let's follow the story of this extraordinary person with us. Henry Ford was one of the first people to apply the assembly line to car production and became a pioneer in innovating the automobile manufacturing industry in the US as well as in the world. He was born on July 30th, 1863 in Wayne County, Michigan. He was the first of 5 children in a farming family. To achieve success and bring the current reputation to Ford, Henry Ford had to try and determine a lot since he was a boy. Nobody could understand his love and passion for engineering. On nights, he dug and found throughout the family's plant. Henry held an alarm clock being dismounted in one hand and a screwdriver in the other. The small lamp for lighting was held between his knees. In that year, his mom passed away, leaving him devastated. No longer motivated to continue the hard work of farming, Henry spent all his time studying mechanics. At 16, he was accepted as an apprentice mechanic at a shipyard in Detroit. 5 years later, Henry became the head engineer of Edison Illuminating Company, founded by the great inventor Thomas Edison. It seemed that Ford was satisfied with his career. On the contrary, he quit his job to pursue his four-wheel dream. In the middle of 1899, he decided to pay all his attention to automobile research. Ford managed to develop an internal combustion engine model. In 1896, with a few friends' assistance, he completed the first car model named Quadricycle. At that time, the competitive environment was very fierce because there were many companies producing cars running gasoline engines. Quadricycle can be considered Ford's first failure because the design was too small and incomplete for large-scale production. In 1899, he persuaded a rubber magnate in the region, William H. Murphy, to invest and open the Detroit Automobile Company in August 1899. He worked as a supervisor with a salary of $150 USD per month. Then, he decided to quit his job in Edison Illuminating Company, even though he was supposed to have a salary of $1,900 USD per year. Although Murphy and shareholders had great expectations, Ford could not launch any new products after a year and a half. He wanted to invent a perfect car, but many problems arose that he did not foresee, such as the shortage of materials, or whether it was too heavy or expensive. The board of directors gradually lost their faith in Ford. In early 1901, Detroit Automobile was out of business. Not discouraged, Ford looked over his failure and then realized that he was trying to make a car that met all customers' needs at the same time. It's impossible. He made up his mind to focus on manufacturing a small and light car. To recover his reputation, Ford researched a racing car at a speed of 1.6 km per minute, which is 96 km per hour, and won the Grosse Pointe race 16 km long. With this achievement, he convinced Murphy to give him another chance. At the end of 1901, the Henry Ford Company was established and Ford owned 1/6 shares, worth 100,000 USD. This time, to ensure Ford worked on schedule, the board of directors hired an experienced engineer, Henry M. Leland, to supervise him. Not satisfied, Ford left the company after less than a year with $900 and lost the right to use his name. This company later changed its name to Cadillac. 2 failures seemed to put an end to the 30-year-old engineer's career. But Ford did not accept his fate. For him, failure is just an opportunity to start again in a smarter way. He continued to research and found another investor, Alexander Malcolmson, in 1903, who agreed to give him money to open Ford Motor Company. It took 5 years, and after 8 unsuccessful models, Model A, B, C, F, K, N, R, and S, Ford unveiled the legendary Model T, which revolutionized the automobile industry. It took another 5 years, till 1913, when he completed the assembly line to achieve the expected scale. In 1918, half of the cars in the US were Model T. At the age of 55, Henry Ford made Detroit become the most prosperous city in this country. People thought this was the happy ending for Ford. After his efforts, he could run his company comfortably. However, in the 1920s, Ford faced a new challenge, Chevrolet. While it took Ford 20 years to build a car model, Chevrolet launched a new model annually with ever-improving designs. As a result, Chevrolet held the majority of the market share. In 1927, Ford had to lay off thousands of workers since business declined. At the age of 64, the old chairman had to return to the starting point, making a new car. With a lot of effort, he unveiled a completely new version of the Model A car and brought success to the company. However, just 3 years later, in 1931, sales fell hard again because of the Great Depression. Meanwhile, Chevrolet's new 6-cylinder engine car model attracts all customers. Once again, Ford had to stop production, lay off workers, and return to the design desk. And once again, he brought the company to the first position where he launched the Ford V8, an 8-cylinder engine car. Through more than 100 years of ups and downs, Ford is still one of the largest car manufacturers in the world. Up to now, Ford no longer holds an unique position. However, Henry Ford will always be a pioneer in the automobile industry. Henry Ford was ranked by the Forbes magazine as the top 20 most influential businessmen of the era, along with Noble, Morgan, and Rockefeller. Thank you for listening. We hope through the story of Henry Ford's success, you can realize that failure is not the end for your present. Let's try your best to move forward.